Hello and welcome to Nostalgia Detective. This is Bad Influence Series 1 Episode 2 commentary. And once again, this will be the first time I've seen this episode in however number of years it's been since it was first broadcast. Certainly looking forward to seeing what's on it today. Here we go.
Hi and welcome to Bad Influence. This week we'll be looking at the latest ice hockey game on the Mega Drive.
Oh, ice hockey on the Mega Drive. I don't think I actually had any of them. Oh, Z, Z.
Where NASA scientists are discovering what it would be like to fly around on other planets.
Aha. More random 3D nonsense from Z.
And I'm going to be having a smashing time with some consoles and cartridges. Excuse me a second, Ben. Can I do it now, Violet?
No, not now,
Oh, Andy Peters. No! Andy Crane! Oh, where am I going with that? That's the wrong broom cupboard. Oh, wow!
It's state of the art.
I remember this.
And the sound is brilliant. The sound's really eerie and atmospheric. And
this was, when it came out, amazing to see.
Explore the house and discover the mystery behind it. I'm going to take this oil lamp because I might need it
point and
later
click
when it's really
adventures.
dark. You can also choose to be a man. The man has got different qualities. He's
man or woman?
But the woman's brainier, and I'm not going to comment on that.
Oh, that's really cool. I didn't realise that.
Right, I'm just going to go and see what's in this chest. Go and open.
No, Violet. Don't open the chest. No, it's at the window.
It's out in the shop for the PC only. On
Where
the
is
19th of November. Oh no, I'm going to put her into fight mode now, and I've got no weapon. So
Fight
all I can
mode.
do is
Punch
kick.
her.
Take that. Oh no. Whoop. Take that, you fiend.
Hello again, slimy turtlers. Nam Rood here at the back door with more hints and tips. Now say after me. Aid, nigh, ra, la car. Louder. Aid,
nigh, ra, la car. What is it? What game?
Is it raining? No, of course it isn't, because Aid, Nigh, Ra, La Car is a cheat for a Jurassic game on the Mega Drive called Splatterhouse 2.
Splatterhouse 2?
At the beginning of the game, you can enter passwords to jump to later levels. Now, don't tell anybody else these codes.
Do I remember that? What is it? You can show us a screenshot, mate.
Aid, Nigh, Ra,
oh, that's quite interesting.
La Car
Where you selected
gets
stuff.
you to level 6.
Cool.
This code will get you to level 7.
Never heard of it.
Code will get you
Is that bad? Never heard of it.
So that's Aid, Nigh, Ra, La Car.
Can I do it now, Violet?
No, not yet, Andrew. It needs a video to record games, Master.
Fair enough. And you, if you've got a video, can use yours to video the data blast at the end of the program.
The old data blast again.
You get the idea. Video the credits, then rewind the video and play it back to yourself, but don't play it back at normal speed. Play it back using your pause.
What we got there? Super NES, Super Mario World.
And 50 or more pages of information will become accessible to you.
Still a really clever idea for the time.
Last week we had several calls asking how the scoring works in our reviews.
Ooh.
Well, the magazines normally award a percentage, but strangely enough, 50% isn't an average game, because they seldom award less than 60%. So we decided to have a more sensible way of reviewing things.
Fair enough.
We award up to 5
Good point,
stars
actually.
Instead.
So, 5 stars is really Jurassic. 4 stars, pretty good, worth buying. 3 stars, an average kind of game.
Yeah, so.
2 stars, don't buy it unless you are a real fan of that particular type of game. And 1 star, we wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot joystick.
I wonder if any any game actually got 1 star.
NHLPA Hockey, the follow-up to EA Hockey, one of the best-selling games on the Mega Drive ever. All the big names are there. They all have different playing styles, and here to fight it out for Bad Influence are Adam and Sarah.
I like this game a lot, but it's too much like the original EA Hockey, so if you've got it, just don't bother buying it. But I still like
Silly
it.
question. Do they still have... They must still have NHL Hockey games available now.
Control player, B to pass and
I remember these used to be massive, massive games. I assume this was the first one that got the NHL license because it was EA Hockey before. Sorry, I'm talking over them bickering. This is genius.
I don't, but that's it. Goal is set. One of the problems
These two are brilliant.
You can't see where the puck is because it matches the boobs.
So that's a problem if you got bad eyesight or something. And look at the play down there, like, it's not violent enough. You hit the players, like, just get back.
It's not violent enough.
Any real injuries or something.
This has been one of the best sports games I've ever played. I've always wanted to go at ice hockey. but I think I enjoyed it a bit better than Adam, being as I am better than him.
Yeah, sure you are, believe you.
Nice.
Looking game. I really like the feel of the eye.
Oh, I hope they
I'd
come back
probably buy
again.
this one.
It looks good, but it's quite confusing. I can't see the ball sometimes. This
Puck,
game is
it's a puck.
excellent. It's very playable. I would definitely buy it.
And so the final scores for NHLPA hockey, the boys gave it 4 out of 5, and the girls gave it 4 out of 5.
Hey,
Excellent scores.
$39.99 there. I wonder how much that is in today's money.
The technicians who work in this room tend
Good
to
old
have
Z.
a faraway look in their eyes. Their job is
Zed,
to explore
Zed, it's
other
Zed.
planets.
Ooh, nice.
They're tracking spacecraft that are traveling to the far reaches of the solar system. One of the latest missions, called Magellan, is to map the planet Venus.
Venus. Interesting.
Venus is the next planet in towards the sun. It's the nearest planet to the Earth and most visited. Over 20 spacecraft have been sent there.
I didn't know
But
that.
until now, scientists have known very little about the surface of Venus because it's always covered in dense clouds. The Magellan spacecraft has special radar that can see through the clouds and send back information about the surface.
Cool.
And this is what it sent back. Page after page of computer data.
Top
Some of it can
Matrix.
be converted into
Oh,
photographs,
man.
some into information about the heights of the hills and valleys. But here at the Jet Propulsion Laboratory, right outside Los Angeles, they can use very powerful computers to change this into this.
Again, for the time, this was breathtaking.
Flyovers over the surfaces of the planets.
It kind of looks like, remember recently the Titanic was mapped with stuff on the surface of the ocean. It looks like that, the same type of imagery.
Tied together, mosaic, to create larger pictures of the surface of the planet.
The Magellan spacecraft sends back 3 different types of information: pictures, height, and how hot the planet is at different points. Before the fly-throughs can be made, all this information has to be combined.
Awesome.
This is the computer software we use to design the movies. We choose keyframes and generate
Look at the
those,
phone.
the flight
Look at the
path by flying
phone.
through each keyframe in sequence. Here is one keyframe, and it's chosen by telling the computer where to be and where to look. This is the
It's
camera
clever
position
stuff,
here
considering this was what?
in the horizontal view.
Early
We have
90s. This was kind of the
direction to look
groundbreaking
here,
stuff.
and the
So if you
extent
think
of the field of view
now,
in green lines.
what they're using
The
now,
side view,
the
vertical view, and
groundbreaking
you
stuff
can see this red line
this year, what
is
it's going to
the
look like another, what, 20, 30 years'
height
time.
information, a
Really
profile of height
interesting.
information along
This one's better than
the
last
direction
week
of
for
look.
sure.
We're looking here up a valley at the volcano, and so you can see the volcano here, here, and this brightening in the height information. So this would be one keyframe. We generate these frames at a rate of about 1 per minute for the videos that we make. And so to do an entire movie might take several days or a week.
Wow. Several
The team
weeks.
tried out the technique in a more down-to-earth way. They used satellite pictures of California and height data from ordinary maps. The results took the computer 5 continuous days to produce, and this round feature is the famous Rose Bowl.
Considering now that technology you can do on your phone and in such a better high res, it's just
You
mad.
may wonder how we get color from radar images. Well, this image was taken by the Soviet spacecraft, and it was taken by a lander. In fact, you can see the edge of that spacecraft, and the data was transmitted back from that lander to the Earth, and so we have a few
Venus,
images in color of the surface.
Yeah.
We use the hues from this image to create the color that you see.
I didn't know we put a lander on Venus, or the Russians did. That's interesting. Learned something today.
This is my souvenir. It's a postcard of Venus as you'll never see it, without its clouds. the latest rocket
There you
is
go.
carrying the Mars Observer spacecraft, and they should be getting photos
What's
from
written on his
Mars
shorts?
in about 1994.
Hey, stay cool, Zed.
Oh, back
The
to
word
it.
of the week is E-terps. Sorry, sprite. A sprite is a collection of points that move about on the screen as if they were all joined together, like on Zool or Mario or Sonic. Here's a cheat that Zed might be interested in. It's for Agony on the Amiga. When the title screen appears,
called
and
him
the
Zed,
music
I
is
like
playing, type in the word fantasy in big capital letters. Then, when you start the game, you can press the F1 key and you get the big sword. The F3 key, you get an extra 20,000 points, and the F4 key gives you an extra life. Oh, and by the way, you can press these keys as many times as you like.
Oh, awesome.
Got that,
Said.
Zed?
Nice one.
It's Z, right, not Z, contrary to what certain sad people might think. Now it's time for this week's news and previews.
What we got coming
A
out?
long time ago on a planet far, far away, Star Wars was a hit on the NES. Now here's a mega preview of Super Star Wars on
Oh,
the NES.
wow.
It features every scene from the movie culminating in a grand effort to destroy the Death Star.
I remember this, never played it, but remember the hype when it came out.
Pushes the SNES to its technical limits and is due out next spring.
Don't
Wow.
forget the Future Show, which starts today at Earl's Court. All the new
Aha,
games will be
this
there.
dates it,
Bad
November
Influence
5th,
will be hosting the
1992.
first ever National Games Championships, and we'll see you live there on Sunday. Two exciting new games for the Lynx are in the pipeline. The first is Dirty Larry.
Oh, the
He's a mean
Lynx.
cop who doesn't go by the book when it comes to cleaning up the streets. A big game, it's got around 80 levels and one of the best intro sequences I've ever seen on a handheld.
Then there's Dracula, not for the faint-hearted. The blood-sucking vampire wreaks havoc as you try to escape from his castle.
Last week we ran a competition to win
So-
this SNES and Super Scope action pack along with the Bad Influence t-shirt. The question was very simple. The names of our Humanosaur characters. That was all you need to know. If
what
you
were the
put
names?
Brad and Dina on your entry form, you're halfway
Oh,
there.
I said Gina.
We'll have a rummage because all the correct entries are in
Don't.
here. Pull one out.
Postbag.
Paper, Brad and Dina, that's correct. Janine Robinson, age 12, Bostock Walk, Chawton on Medlock, Manchester. Well done, you're a winner.
This week we're giving away 4 quick shot supervisions and loads
Quick
of
shot
games.
supervisions.
And the question is, what's the name of the 2 droids in Star Wars? Again, not Andy and Violet. Answers please on a postcard or sealed down on envelope marked competition.
Ah,
to
sealed
enter
down
next
envelope.
Monday.
And we've had lots of letters already saying how much you enjoy the programme, for which we thank you, and also sending us your artwork
Ooh.
as requested. Ian Hall from Hackney, London EH. You're now a famous nationally known artist with that work. Thank you very much indeed. Same applies to Rebecca Law, who is
Looking
8
good.
and lives in Seymour Gardens,
Is this
Middlesex. Now you're well known
inkjet
as well.
print?
A fine peregrine falcon.
Must be.
And also we had animations on discs, most of which
Ah.
were too gruesome to show on telly, but we snuck some of them on the data blast at the end of the show.
Oh, I'll have to keep an eye out for that.
Show from Matthew Haslam, age 13 from Rochdale. Thank you for sending all that work in. If you saw it on the telly, you will receive a Bad Influence t-shirt in return.
Oh, everyone's getting the t-shirts. I want one. What we got here?
Super Hunchback for the Game Boy finds
Super
our hero in an
Hunchback.
enchanted forest. Here's John Pierre.
This isn't usually the kind of game I'd go for. I'd go for a sim, a beat 'em up or something like that. But now that I've had a chance to play it, I think I'm hooked. This bit's great, it's a warp hole. You jump into it when one appears, and you get lots of extra bonus points by collecting the fruit. It's not easy, though. You have to bounce along these platforms. And if you get to the
So
end,
I'm
you
just
get
rocking my
extra
head
life.
to this bouncing, just going up and down.
There's no firepower. You just end up avoiding all of your enemies. I'm
Just
really
end up
impressed
avoiding
with
all
this
the
little
enemies.
character. You can move in different ways, and you can even make him swim. as
No.
well as jump and run. It's
This seems a
certainly
bit
not boring
very
game,
generic
and I think it
platformer.
sounds great for a Game Boy. This bit's great. If you don't do anything, he starts to play with his yo-yo, read a book, or whistle. It's these sort of details
To be
that
fair,
make it really
games
good.
that did that, the attention to
Definitely
detail
buy
was
it.
quite cool.
Great value for money.
I like this game. It's really funny when he gets hit and there's stars around his head. But I prefer games with weapons.
The graphics
She
are
prefers
good.
games with
I'd
weapons.
definitely buy it, and it's very playable.
This is a really good game for the Game Boy. I think I'd buy this one. It's really good fun and it builds easily.
And the scores for Super Hunchback, the boys gave
Never heard of it,
4 out
but
5, and the girls agreed. They gave it 4
4 out of 5? Really?
Assassin is an arcade game for the Amiga. You get to be a hunky man who is
As I said last time,
behind enemy
I wasn't
lines
an
in order
Amiga
to kill the
person.
evil Maiden.
Always a
Whoever he
console
is,
person.
is Catholic.
So I cannot
I like
comment
this
on
sort
these.
of thing. It's a pretty violent game.
It's a pretty violent
The
game.
tries to get you, so you've got to waggle the joystick like this. You can get brilliant weapons. This is a smart bomb. This is level 4. I love this one. You're in a genetic asylum and there's all sorts of evil beasts to kill. The sound effects are excellent. You can hear tortured people screaming in the background.
You can hear tortured people screaming in the background.
I love this game. It's really playable and I'd probably buy it and I'd certainly put it down in my Christmas present list.
Fair enough.
This game looks good, but it's really violent. I like the way the hero moves through it.
I think the graphics are excellent, but it's not that playable. It's really hard to get anywhere. I prefer games with a better difficulty curve.
This game's got a difficulty worked out all wrong. You die too many times when you start playing it, so you get bored of it. I would have marked it high if I had held my interest at the beginning, but it didn't, so I haven't.
And the scores for Assassin, the boys gave it 3 out of 5, but the girls gave it 4 out of 5.
Oh, they like a bit of violence. Never heard of it. Anyway, come on. Love the studio.
Console and computer there is. But have you ever wondered what's inside those little plastic
Right,
boxes?
cue the hammer.
Can I do it now, Violet?
Yes, now, Andy.
Right, yeah!
Ah, the one is the TV.
Don't do that at home. I've heard it invalidates the guarantee. So, what's inside the plastic boxes? Well, you won't be surprised to learn that it's lots and lots of computer chips. I'll give you a quick guided tour of the Mega Drive. This one here is the one that actually runs your game. Over here, we've got the sound department, and this little square one here is really clever. This is a sophisticated graphics chip. This is the one that provides graphics the like of which you see in, say, Legend of Galahad. Now look at this. In the background is moving so smoothly because the graphics chip is concentrating on the background, leaving the main games chip to concentrate on running your game. That's how these things work. This is the inside of a SNES. I mean, most of these systems look much the same inside.
Oh, it's not the expansion slot. It's where you put the... Of course, it's where you put the games cartridge, isn't it?
Chip that makes games like F-Zero have that rather unique...
Oh, F-Zero.
And this is what the inside of a cart looks like. You can have up to 4 chips. This one stores the game program. These to do with the memory. And that's the battery that powers the memory when the machine's turned off. But this is the really interesting one. Only the manufacturers really know how it works, but it matches up with a similar chip inside the machine. And without it, the game just won't run.
Now the manufacturers put these protection chips, as they call them,
protection
inside their cartridges to prevent other software companies from knocking up games, running them on your systems, and not paying them a royalty. But there is a way around it. This is called a plug-through. Now what a plug-through essentially is a game.
That's interesting. Were they allowed to? Well, obviously they did, but were they allowed to do this?
Where does the protection chip come from? One of your normal games.
Telling you how to subvert the copyrights.
Cartridge, but wired to accept the protection chip. So when you plug the whole of this into your system, the game runs. Plug-through games will cost you about £10 less than normal ones because there's no protection chip.
But beware, they're not approved by the console manufacturers. So if you use one and it damages your machine, it's not covered by the guarantee.
Nor is it if you hit it with a mallet, by the way.
Ah, thanks very much for the cheap book, Tom Simmons from Glassbury. Of course, I knew them all already. Next time, send them into someone like Andy or Violet. When I play Street Fighter 2, obviously I always win. But I can't work out whether it's because my character is stronger than the other or not. This is a cheat that allows you to play one character against himself. When the game is loaded...
Oh, I didn't realise you could do that. I mean, like, the game came out... You could always, or games nowadays, you could always play, like, the mirror version. I didn't realise that right at the start with Street Fighter.
And as player 2.
So learn something else today.
If you've got any friends, you should have an even match.
Well, that's about it for this week, but don't forget to video.
Well, there we go. That was quick.
Starts in a few seconds.
Join us next week when, amongst other things, we'll be reviewing an excellent new film about a group of computer high-tech security experts. It's called Sneakers. See ya.
Ooh.
Bingo. We're up.
Oh, I love hacking type films that dates to technology almost immediately. Never heard of this though.
Sure you know which one to cut?
Yes. The alarm's always the green one.
Right, there we go. Data Blast time. That is Series 1, Episode 2 of Bad Influence. Thanks as always to the YouTube channel Retro Pixels for uploading this entire episode. I'll stick a link in the description so you can go to their channel. Once again, some interesting stuff here from Bad Influence, and I'll be back again soon for commentaries. Until then, cheerio for now.